What's up, y'all? This is Prince Mackaveli, and you're now tuning in to the Three Count Podcast.
Well, by now, if you're hearing this, you already know what this is. This is now entering 201, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you out that mountain called wrestling. But every time that we do these shows, it's kind of like a wraparound because we bring back our favorite guests and we talk to them about what we got going on since the last time we talked. So it's never
Mhm.
about me; it's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring? You see this man right here. You can see this man. Well, he's been attached to C3W. He's been attached to EWA. He's been attached to IWA Vintage Pro. He's been attached to TWI. He's been attached to what else have we been around on?
SWA,
SWA, SCWA,
Voltage,
Voltage. We've also been a part of
Next Up Pro.
1CW.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've been around a long time. He is my best friend. He's also the muscle of pure ignorance. He is Prince Machiavelli.
Plus, Prince himself is Icy Prince himself. What's up, y'all?
What's up, bro, man? So it is fun that we get to do this because I think the last time we did this, we were on Zoom and there's like five of us on
Hmm.
on the show at the same time, and I was like, man, that is a lot of people to have on the show. So since then, Chaz and I have agreed that we will have at most three or four, but only one of us hosting the show. And since that time, I have been the person hosting the shows.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, great. Chaz has Chaz and friends, but it's me doing
But he gets
most
to
of
just yell.
the
He
time.
gets to yell.
Bro, it's been such a long time, right? So 3 years ago we did this show, right?
Yep.
You guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. Prince Machiavelli is now entering the ring. And now here we are doing 201 3 years later, and like so much has changed with
Yes.
everything, man. Like
Yes.
not just
Because what?
physical locations.
See, now we have three members. Well, yeah, because 3 years ago, Jace would have just been coming in. So
Yep.
technically, we got a new member. Um, the gang's all back together with the four of us.
Yep.
Won new titles, lost some titles, won my first singles title.
It's true. It's true.
All of this in the past year. So yeah, definitely.
It's a trip though, man, because like pure ignorance itself, like it's kind of like a growing faction. But then with the one thing I
Yes.
think is different from us compared to, let's say, like some other groups that are out there, is that we legitimately like grew up in the business together, right? Like I know
Yes.
you were doing it for a few years before Chaz, myself, and Noah all made the jump, but like once we all kind of got around each other, we all just kind of like clicked really quick, and then like, I mean, the family was kind of born. I mean, we all been like a part of the dark arts. Sorry, y'all, but now we're here, like up running, and
Yep.
it's just fun because like I mean, like I said, like I'm coming up on my fifth year. I
Yep.
think you
That's
are.
fine.
What do you?
For
How
me, it
long you
would
been?
be if I'm going by Jaden Miller, it'd be 5 to 6 years.
Yeah. So you're like a year ahead, and then Chaz
Hmm.
obviously coming into his fifth year, Noah coming into his third year. It
Yep.
is crazy to think like how much growth has like happened like with all of us in like not just with like the territories that we've gone and wrestled in, but like the character side of things, the wrestling side of things, the
Yeah.
storytelling that we're able to do. It's so much fun, man, because it's like I don't know. It's a more enjoyable journey to do this with your brothers than it would be to do this like with just randos.
Like
You know what I mean?
randos or alone. Yeah, definitely. Because when
And
you're doing it alone, I'm telling you, it's what they say is lonely at the top.
it is,
So
it is. But it's funny though because like we all like acknowledge, like even though he won't, and I'm gonna do it now. We all kind of acknowledge that Chaz is kind of like the front person of this
yes,
group,
always,
and
always.
he's always like, nah, man, we all like contribute in our own ways. Like, shut up, Chaz, you're the one with the microphone, bro. Like we know you're the talker.
Yes, Chaz has. I love my brother to death. Chaz has a big mouth. He's always had a big mouth since middle school, them Dare Park days. He's always been loud. He's always been obnoxious. But only I can say that because anybody else says it. Stuff is season.
It is 100%. It's funny though because like I'll hit him in different ways. I won't ever talk about like, hey man, I know you're just annoying. I'll be like, I'll just find other ways to like poke at him and prod at him. And I could just see him like getting upset. I feel like we all have like our own ways of like getting Chaz like so riled up that he's like, if it wasn't for this, I would fight every one of you.
hmm hmm Sometimes I do it on purpose, and he knows. I think he knows I do.
Yeah.
Like certain messages and stuff like that, or if he wants me to do something, I'm like, oh, that's the day. Like I knew it was that day. I just decided to, especially
You
if it's
know?
important.
Oh yeah, I love when he gets like so riled up that he's just like, nah, man, like what do you mean? Like I'm just like, I don't know, bro. You just see him. He gets overly worked. Um, so let's talk about like some things that have changed, right? Because like obviously you just mentioned, right, Jada Miller, right, being that
Yeah.
was kind of like the first of the, I guess, repackages, right? And then
Yes.
we landed on Prince Mackaveli like 3 years ago, and then from there, like I remember the first promo you guys cut, right, with for SCWA, and like
Yeah.
so many people lost their damn minds
Oh
because
yeah.
you referred to Randy Lawson as a colonizer.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And yeah,
Poor.
we had and it was like our. I think it was like our first. That was like around our first match with me and Chaz because he
Yep.
wasn't even booked that day, and then that night he got booked in the main event of SCWA.
Yep.
And that promo had so many people. I mean, I was getting hate messages. It was insane. You can't say that because that's race. I was like, okay, well,
I'd be like,
guess
I
this.
think you guys forget that. I think a lot of people forget that Prince is black, and
Yeah.
although like people will be like, "Well, that's racist," like, hey, yeah, sucks to suck. It happens. And I remember talking to Lawson about it afterwards too, or like even just before, right? I was like, bro, they fed you so much ammo. The only thing you're locked in on is
It
the
was one part,
is the
yes.
one part is the one part where you got called the colonizer. You and all your friends, and your friends were telling you that, well, if you say anything, you're racist. Like, no, he can address everything but that and just skim over it like he didn't even hear it.
like
And
I didn't
low
even call
key,
him.
yeah, nobody. And I forget if he even cut a promo because by
No,
the
he
time
never did.
that
He never did.
this
He
shit
was
was
like,
wild,
yeah. We had a whole conversation about it. I was like, yeah, man, it's okay. Just cut a promo. Just ignore that part. He was like, yeah, I'm going to. I never did.
never did.
Never did.
I remember too. It was funny because when we were at, so if you guys are trying to figure out when we were dating this, right? On Saturday when we were at
Sorry, y'all.
the Wrestling Independent, we talked to Miles, right? Miles was there, and Miles remembered that Chaz's first match was with him. And he
Yep.
was like, "Oh my god, that's right, you were in that match in SCWA." And we're like, "Yep, it was him." I remember I did the run into because I was still injured and I was coming off of injury to like work. Man, it was
That
that
was
trip
a
was
great
a
night.
wild
It
trip,
was a great night. Yeah. I remember those 5 hour trips down there.
bruh.
Just to get your start.
Just to get a start, you had to get
Yeah.
some kind of footage.
Just your foot in the door so you have some kind of videotape to show somebody like, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this. Just give me a chance.
Yeah. It's funny though because like how things have evolved and changed. Now, like we've networked out pretty well, and I think that's like
Yeah.
an important thing. Like if people don't realize, like you get your match footage, right, and you want to pass it off and pass it along, right, and you want it to be good. But it was like something that Eel O'Neill has said to me actually on this program on 201. He said, or no, he didn't say there. He said it at EWA actually. This was
Yep.
last year. He said it. He goes, when you go to Netflix, he's like, I'm pretty sure you don't read all of the descriptions to every single TV show. But if your friend came to you and told you to check out a TV show, you check it out.
Yeah.
And so I think where it comes with us, right, is that we've been doing this now for a little bit where we can like have our friends kind of network for us, kind of like
Yes.
give us the hey, you should check out these guys out. And then we can slide into somebody's DM and be like, hey, my name is such and such. I know this person at that promotion, and I'd love to come work for you. And then they'd
Yes.
be like, "Hey, show us your match footage." And now we have some actual match footage that we can show off.
Yes. And
So,
show our skills and show the talent. Like, yeah, especially this year, I feel like this year we've put on a lot of great matches. and I've checked off a lot of things on my bucket list.
Yeah, it's not every day you see your friend go and hit a sunset power bomb when he's never actually done it before.
Never actually done one.
Just throw it, just whatever. That's something else that I think about too, because like Miles has said it too at the same show, at the Wrestling Independent. He was like, yeah, sometimes man, you just gotta go for it. He's
Yep,
like, that's how you
yep.
practice it. You just go for it.
That you know what? And it was funny because I know you're probably gonna ask this question, like what advice I would give to somebody. At this point in my career, that would be my advice. If somebody gives you a spot or somebody like I ain't saying go do a 630 knowing you can't do no 630, but something as simple as flipping over the ropes for a sunset power ball. No, something as simple as that. Like in that moment, you might be scared, but just go for it.
Yeah, it's
Don't
something
do
like
630s now, but no, yeah,
it's something that Will Smith says too. Like, he was talking about the moment he was like skydiving, right? And
yeah,
he was like, I was so afraid to jump, right? He's like, I was just afraid. He's like, but then I realized on the other side of fear is ecstasy, and so I jumped out the plane. And
yes,
then he was talking about the moment he was skydiving. So it's one of those things too. Like you have to like be have no fear. Like
yep, and trust yourself. Trust
yeah,
yourself.
trust
You
yourself.
gotta trust yourself.
Because you've been doing it for a long, like like we've now like 5-6 years into this now, and we're still figuring things out. We're still learning
Oh
like
yeah,
tempos, placements and matches and stuff like that. And it's something that I never understood, I never learned, right, in the first year of like wrestling. Mind you, in the first year of wrestling, I only had like 4 matches anyway, so I just depended on my vets to kind of like guide me on everything.
yeah,
And then in the second time, or the second year, I looked at guys like Kavad, and I looked at Beastman, and I looked at Andino, right, to like and TJ Sykes, right, to be the person that guide me and help me
yeah,
and show me the ropes of like how things are gonna get, how I'm gonna learn, and also Sicken, right, can't forget him. But they were always there, like encouraging me and helping me and building me up and showing me the ropes and showing me like how to put a match together. And now like
yeah,
I'll go back to Sicken and I'll send him a match like, yo, break this down, and he'll break it down. And I'll be like, what about this sequence? Do you think I should do A, B, or C, or should I do like A, B, and then something else here? And then like I think he thinks it's crazy that like we're now getting into the nuance of like building your move set up.
building your moveset. And it's about, like I said, it's about trusting yourself, but also like it's a brotherhood or a sisterhood or whatever. It's a family. When you step into a locker room, you know these are whether you like them, whether you don't like them. These are the people that you have your life, their hands in. Lord, your life in their hands.
Right.
So you need to set up some type of relationship with them because anything can happen.
Yeah.
Like I trust you to the fullest in a match with me. Like I know if you like, hey, brother, go ahead and do your moonsault. I know you'll be there.
Yeah. It was well, and it's funny though because like we've actually worked. So I mean, even so, the last time that we were did this program right now in Ring, we actually worked a match at IWA Vintage Pro,
Yep.
and
Yep.
like it was funny because like we were supposed to be in a tag match, and then we got told like, hey, we found out the other tag team wasn't showing up, and so we're like, all right,
Yeah.
cool, whatever, we'll
Remember
just
that conversation when I
I re-
when I called when I called Tyrone and I was like, "Yeah, bro, where are you? You know, we have a match tonight." He said, "What match?" I'm like, "At the show." He's like, "Ain't nobody tell you about no show." So I was like, "Yeah, that was
yeah.
a crazy day."
But the
But we
the
went
funny
out there
part
and we put
was,
out that on that match, man.
yeah, and we put on a banger of a match too, and the
Yeah,
crowd was hyped with us. Um, and it was funny too because like going back to that match, right? Going back to that show, um, we didn't even have a problem. Like we just went up to the promoter. We're like,
yep,
hey, they're not coming, but we can work the match and we'll put on a banger for you. And sure enough, like that match, like I remember getting back invited to IWA Vintage Pro right before they closed.
yes,
I got invited back to work another match, and I got to work with Cade Lothbrock because of it. So to work with a guy, formerly known as Stockade, right? But Cade was the man, and I got to work with him
yes,
because of the match that we put on, and that just showed that he, oh boy, had a lot of trust in me. The promoter had trust in me and was willing to put it together. And I know like he was talking about wanting to bring Pure Ignorance in, up until the
Yep.
point where he was just like, all right, we gotta close down because we're not doing what we need to be doing. I'm like, damn it. I was like, I got to work Dave Dahl and Cade, and I want to
And it
do
was all fun,
this.
and I was having fun. Like, yeah, that's usually how it goes.
It's funny too because I still use that GIF where like, I don't know what I said in the corner. I really don't remember. But then like you came in with that forearm and just blasted.
So, you know what's funny? Because I've watched the match recently. I had chopped you, but you had
Yeah.
the vest on.
Oh,
That
that's
was when
right.
you were still wearing your vest. And I'm selling my hand like, that hurt, that hurt. And somebody in the crowd screams, "He's wearing a vest, dummy!" And I was like, "I know he's wearing a vest." And then I think you just screamed, "I'm wearing a vest!" And then I just clocked you.
And I was watching back the GIF and I saw like the cell, like my eyes just got like all big. I think that's something like it was funny because I watch a lot of other wrestlers, right? And the one thing I feel like some wrestlers are like lacking is like just really solid facials, right? And it's like
Yeah.
young wrestlers, but they don't know, and then you teach them, and then they kind of get it, right? But some like other wrestlers who are veterans, not that I need to put out names because I'm not going to, but they just they lack facials. Like they have like the same expression when they get hit in the face. I'm like, why are you selling your face punch the same way you're selling your body slam, right? Like
Hmm.
you like something hurts, but you're not telling us what hurts. You're just like, mm,
Ah.
uh.
Ooh.
I was like, I just could imagine like those wrestlers being in the bedroom and like trying to sell their facials that way, like, yeah, keep going. Like, like,
Oh, that
there's no,
hurts.
it's just monotone the whole way. Like it's so bogus.
I
So
know wrestlers like that now.
yeah, I do too. That's the problem. It's like, yo, like you gotta have some flavor in like who you are and what you're doing and
Yeah.
the character you're
Yeah.
developing. Like so for instance, like for Prince, right? Prince's goals, like when he first started, right, was he wanted to get all the gold, right? Because that's what he
Yep.
deserved. He was a king. He's a prince, right? He's the prince. He deserves the golds that need to be given to him. And then now that like the gold has been obtained in multiple companies, what's the new goal for like Prince Machiavelli?
Honestly, the new goal is similar to the same one, but with a better touch. The goal is always to win gold. Goal is always to be the top tag team in the company, the greatest tag team alive. But for Prince personally, it's the goal is to face the best talent in the world. Like I want the Isaiah Wolves, I want the Tyree Taylors, I want the Tiberiuses, the Lalas. I want the Jared Diaz's, like the guys who have started making a name already for themselves on the independent.
Yeah.
That's what I want Prince to go after. That's what I want Pure Ignorance to go after. We already had matches against Young Dumb. Just had a match against CMD. With making a name for ourselves.
It's one of those things too where I look at like how Red Dog has like changed and evolved and like Red Dog, he came out and he was really like more like this military tactician that wanted to like take on the world and like just burn down like all like corrupt people that were in the industry. But not that the times changed, right? Because it's still kind of his goals, but now like instead of being more like stoic and like still faced, he's more like energetic, more charismatic about things, and like
Yeah.
more having fun with it. And I too, like when I look at it, I'm like, I've wrestled like a lot of like crazy talent that I just didn't think that I would ever be in a ring with. And then
Yep.
I'm like, I want more, right? Like
Yeah.
there's all sorts of people out there that I want to work with that I'm starting to learn more about and starting to see. And then and fortunately but unfortunately, right? Like I moved out of Maryland. Now you find me in Massachusetts, right? Um, but I still get to travel and go down to
Exactly.
Pennsylvania and work some of the guys that I'm looking forward to work. But now that I'm up here, I'm like, oh, bro, like now I get the opportunity to, if I work hard, right, in the next year or so, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that one on one with Alec Price, right? Because that's the person
Yep.
I want. Marcus Mathers, another person that I'm looking at, right? Looking at Ichiban, looking at when you guys start popping up here, working with Waves and Curls, right? Look
Yes.
at all these top tier talents. Main event is another person. Yeah, don't worry, Jay Lyons and Midas Black. We know, we see. Okay, Hog is definitely on point. But it's like I want to work some of these big events and like work these bigger
Exactly.
name tag teams and work these bigger name individuals because I'm like, yo, like these are the things that we're doing that we need to do, right? And
And not just that, you also get to learn from someone new.
yes,
That's the biggest thing. And I will preach this to the day I die. Learn from as many people as you can when you get into the business. Don't take advice or well, take advice, but don't just use one person's advice. Sometimes one person might have one thing that they think you should do. Another person might have another thing they think you should do. The whole time you could use both of their ideas together and make this perfect plan. Like listen to everything. Take what you can.
yeah, it was something that Brother Greatness said on the show, right? He was like, new ingredients always make new foods. And
Yep.
sometimes you need to spice up your soup, right? So get some new ingredients in there. And I think about that too, where I'm like putting my move list together, and I'm like thinking about these things that I want to do and where I want to hit sequences that I want to do. And not to be funny, man, but like I'm getting I'm not a spring chicken by any means, but I can still do some of the stuff that like I imagine in my mind. So I'm like, all right,
Yep.
how can I include this in a sequence that would be both either A, comedic, or B, shows people like, oh shit, like he's a mover, right?
Yep. And he
Like
can do it.
yeah, so I wanted to show off like I had like a power game, right? So, you know, we saw like in the match over at the Wrestling Independent, I did that stalling German and just like held it out and brought brought Trucker Josh down.
Yep.
Actually, it was actually a rather soft bump because like for him, like he was just riding. He was on the ride. He had nowhere to go. Um, he was just stuck in midair. But he came, he came down, and obviously I did it safely. But it's just something else to show off. And then it's like, I see you like your German suplex game has improved so much more than where it was because like you and I have gotten together and we were in training and we were working on it all the time and building it right.
Hmm.
It's been funny to see how each one of our characters have evolved and pushed themselves to want to keep doing bigger, better things and work on things
Yes.
that like you're just not gonna you normally wouldn't do. Like I don't know if anybody would have ever seen Prince Machiavelli doing moonsaults off the second rope.
Nah. You know what's funny? I think I've only done it one time.
Yeah.
I know how to do it, and I've only done it one time.
Was it at
And I
PWS?
missed. Yes. And I missed.
I remember like the nervousness that you had when you were practicing it for the first time. You're like, I'm so nervous. I
And
don't
you
know
was
how to do
like,
this.
yeah, he was like, just go for it, just do it.
Just do it.
And I feel like I've gotten better and better with it each time that I've done it. It's more of a rotation now.
Yeah.
Because I used to just go kind of like sideways, but now I can actually do the rotation.
That's where it really comes into. It's just like the more you practice something, the better you'll get at it. The
Yes.
more benefits that you're gonna get off of it too. And I think one of the things that like is interesting is that I feel like the knowledge that I've gained, well, obviously because of this podcast, right? This knowledge I've gained, like off the podcast, I've been able to bleed into pure ignorance and kind of like
Yes.
help guide like some things that are happening or things that are going on or conversations that we're having behind the scenes where it's like there's like frustration building and stuff like that. And it's like, all right, cool. Well, if we want to grow somewhere, we got to network. If we're gonna network, I
Yeah.
gotta link you guys to somebody else, and we're gonna go here. We're gonna go talk to this person. We're gonna get that person going, and it's so crazy to be able to like help watch you guys grow as well as me just kind of like grow at the same time. And I feel like
Yeah.
all four of us have just taken like leaps and bounds beyond where we were
Oh,
before.
definitely. Definitely. Because how many people do you know are doing what the shooter's doing right now? You know what I'm saying? Winning tag team titles, not just with me, but also with Chad.
Hmm.
Winning singles titles this year. That was a big thing on one of my lists was to prove that I could win my own title,
Yeah.
and I did that, and I'm proud of myself for that. I feel like this year has been a complete success. We faced talents that honestly I never thought we'd be able to face, but people gave us that opportunity to prove that we deserve to be in the spot that we're in.
Right. I think one of the other things that was like very proud to see for you guys, right? And it's just like in the past 3 years, right? Continuously in the past 3 years is seeing y'all make the black wrestlers the black
Yes,
excellence
yes,
wrestlers list. that was so cool because like each year, obviously, the first year it was just you and Chaz because Noah wasn't around, and then the next year you saw Noah, and then you see all three of y'all elevate right next to each other on the list as well, and it was just so cool to be like, hey man, like I'm watching these guys continuously grow and evolve this game and get better, and it was fun to watch you guys do your thing.
Yeah, thank you, brother. And it feels good. It feels good to be recognized for the stuff that we do, do because it's. I feel like we work hard. Like Chaz used to say this all the time. You might out wrestle me, you might out fight me, you might outdo me in the ring, you might outshine me, but you'll never outwork me.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
that's something we do.
and
It's
it was
outwork everybody.
that goes back to the evolution part, right? Because like when you guys first started, right, and I had told you guys this should be the thing that we do first. We should do it where it's you guys are just street brawlers. You guys are still kind of learning how to wrestle, but you guys are predominantly street brawlers. And then slowly we're gonna insert like some wrestling things, like a chain
Hmm.
here, a chain there, or like some random ass spot here, or some random ass spot there, and then tag spots are gonna get put into place. And we saw that evolution happen, like over like even the last 4 years, right? This
Yep,
year too. Like you guys have like hit on all cylinders. You guys can do pretty much everything.
yep. And still doing new stuff. Like still pulling out new moves, still thinking of new moves that we could do. Um, Changing moves that we already have and making them better. That's just some of the things that we try to do. You always want to upgrade, always want to evolve, never want to stay stale and basic.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing too, where like even when you and I were like even just talking about tagging, right? And we were at IWA, we were like thinking of moves that we could hit like
Yep.
on the spot that we're like, all right, this would be cool if we did this. What's funny, I think one of them we had right was that it was the back body drop. No, I'm sorry, it was a back suplex into a neck breaker, which was
Yeah.
and it was like, yo, we had like all these cool things. And the funny thing was, is I was talking about Chaz. Oh, I didn't tell you this, so this will be your reaction. I was telling Chaz, I was talking about how we would be teaming. Like one time we're gonna team up a couple times, you and I. And I was like, yeah, I'm going one time. I'm gonna pick up somebody in an electric chair, and I'm gonna be like, hey, yo, Prince, hit him with a blockbuster. He's like, what? We're like, off the top rope. Let's go. We don't got time. Do it now. That's our finisher.
Man, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna climb up as fast as I can. I'm gonna do the flip and I'm gonna hit the move.
Everybody's gonna be like, yo,
Pray for whoever's taking it.
yeah. It's like I'm not feeling bad at first. Like, yo, it looks so cool. But I think about that because like between Chaz and Noah, you and Chaz, you and Noah, myself, right into the whole mix. Like, well, you have to be like the base. Like, pretty much, you have to like know everything that's happening,
Yes.
and then like, every element of the team is different, right? Because obviously, it's the OGs with Chaz and Prince, and
Man,
it's
yep.
yeah, and it's the I think they call it the Team Strike is
Strike Force.
Strike Force, Chaz and Prince, or Chaz and Noah, and then yourself and Jace. It just
Big
seems like
brother, little brother.
yeah, Big Brother. I was like the cool cucumber with a hot head,
The
and then it's just us. It's just the big dudes. Like that's all it is.
big dudes. They're just yeah.
It's just the big dogs. That's what we are.
And I
It's
love it.
wild, man. Because like of all the things that we've been doing, running as a unit, it's funny to see like the Ignit dogs go through like the war games match, right? Or
Yes.
the gang warfare. Like that was a lot of fun to do and to join up with y'all with.
Yes. And even though we didn't get to do it last year, and I think only you got to do it, the cage match, the EWA
Mhm.
cage match, which will be a part of this year, which is terrifying. But yeah.
Oh yeah, because we had that. Well, it was funny because like the year before that, you guys were in the Eliminator, and
Yep.
I forget. I think I had a show. I had to go somewhere else. I couldn't
Yep.
be at that show. And I was at HWF, and I was
Yeah,
wrestling
that was the
there.
year we won it. That's where I won The title at.
Yeah. It was where you won the title there, and then I remember like the floor is lava situation.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just wild. Everything that was going on was just so wild. And then finally we all get together for the eliminator last year.
Yeah.
Um, and it was everybody at once. Now this wasn't even just like, and we had with Rico with us, and we we get to clean house. I legitimately want to go back in that match. I want to have more time in that match. Chris, if you're paying attention to this, if you ever have me back in eliminator, I don't want to be the first one eliminated.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. How
I
did you get
understood
eliminated? I
why.
don't
It made
remember.
sense.
How did you get eliminated though?
I remember I got rolled up by was it Logan? No, it wasn't Logan. It
Logan,
was no, it was Jesse Orion, right? That
Justy
rolled me up.
O'Ryan. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, it was.
he rolled me up, and then and then they got the 1, 2, 3, and I had to beat him down after that, so that way we could eliminate. But no, it was like it's so much fun getting a tag up with y'all because like I feel like my energy level goes to another, it goes up a level, and then like
Yes,
then you guys all get brought up to another level on top of that because I
yes.
remember like being at the warfare match, gang warfare, and like Chaz just didn't want to be. I just got locked into like just a death zone, and I did not want to be bothered, and everybody was leaving me alone. And the moment I came out of that curtain and slid under the ring, and I saw Mark, and I just, oh man, I hit him with the hardest lariat I've ever felt in my life. I was way too hyped for that.
Yeah, that war games match was really good because we got a "This is awesome" chant. I think that's when we actually turned good guys,
Yeah.
and things kind of changed from there. I honestly, from that point, is when things really started changing.
Yeah, no, it was great because I mean, I think one of the things that established too is that like at 1CW, right, in Delaware, like we were
Hmm.
over, and like
Yes.
going back going back and looking at it, I remember like I only had worked like I had worked like one or two like random matches. Like I was in a tag match randomly, and then I was in mostly like battle royales and rumble spots. But in that situation, like I was like, I threw myself in a situation that it was necessary for me to be in. And I was like, I want to be a part of like the unit. I want to be in this. And so I like just cut a promo about Carlson being the bulletproof champ. And that's how like I got thrown in the mix.
Yep.
And then everything took off after that. I was like, and then oddly enough, it's funny because I've been told that I'm like the odd person in this group, and I'm like,
Of
I know,
course.
but for some reason I fit. Like I just don't
Yes.
understand.
You're the odd number, but it somehow it works. It just works, and it just makes sense. It's like if you see Red Dog, then you know pure ignorance is around, and if you see pure ignorance, Red Dog has to be somewhere around.
Yeah. And if he's not, he's gonna be next time.
Yep.
It goes everywhere. Because it's funny because like, next year, right? And we'll kind of, hey, you guys get this as a preview. We're already talking about being in Connecticut. We're already talking about
Hmm.
being in Massachusetts. We're talking about being in Maine. Um, and then even at that, like maybe some of y'all get to see Ignorant Dogs so international, right?
Yep.
Well, I should say Ignorant Dogs because Ignorant Dogs should be considered, and I got to talk to Chaz about this too. You guys get to see this live, my thought process of this. Ignorant Dogs should be considered like whenever someone's not associated with pure ignorance, but is like aligned with pure ignorance. I feel like that's how
Hmm.
it should be. Because Chaz even said it himself, like, no, dude, like you're in pure ignorance now. Like you're kind of grandfathered into this now. Like you've been
Yeah.
around us for so long that you're here.
Yeah. You're a member. You're a full time member at this point because I mean we're constantly together. It's not a time that like I said, you will not see Prince without Red Dog, and if you do, don't worry, he'll be there soon.
Yep. And it's funny because like SWA was like a perfect example because I had moved to Massachusetts and I was doing my thing.
Hmm.
And then TJ was like, hey, do you want to come wrestle? And I was on Veterans Day, and I was like, of course. And then it came down, and then sure enough, there we all are together.
Yep, of course. There we all are together as always.
Yep, the brothers all running around together. Listen, man, like so yeah, we was talking about like advice that you would give to like young rooks, and obviously like networking and building a move set and like kind of understanding your character with those things. But if you had someone that was like a little bit older in the business, right? What kind of things are you looking for that person to like display so you're kind of like, all right, they kind of know what they're doing, or hey man, I'm gonna have to take the lead on this situation because you clearly don't know what you're doing.
Hmm. So for me, are you asking like who would it be for me?
No, I'm just looking for like if someone came to you, right? What would be like the standards you might want to like bring that person
Mm,
on?
for me, it'd be hitting your moves clean. Like that's a big thing with me. I already know Chaz is gonna say, well, he should have character, but for me, it's always hitting your moves clean and making sure that you're crisp in the ring. Like the better you are in the ring is the more eyes you'll be able to get on you. You can shoot a good promo, but if you are bad in the ring and you can't really move or you can't really do any move sets, or that's why I'm constantly adding stuff to my move set to be different to show what kind of skills that I have. That would be my big thing, or what I'm looking for when I'm looking for the next person.
See, and I think for me, it's like now I feel like I'm getting to that part where it's like I can like help bring some people along, but I'm still like obviously, and you're always learning, right, in this business, regardless of what people
Yes.
tell you. But like I can start bringing some people along in the match, and I'm looking for like I'm like, yo, like, do you know who you are as far as the character? And if you don't, that's fine. We're not talking about that. Do you understand your bumps? Like,
Mm-hmm.
can you do them clean, right?
Yes.
And then what's your like what's your go-to? What's your signatures, right? Like what's a falsie that you like to hit, right? For me, like I realize that one of the falsies I love hitting is my DDT spot that I do where it's like the gunshots.
Yes.
It's just fun
Yes.
to hit. Um, a lot of people seem to like that one a lot, and then my spine buster. Like those two are
Yes.
like my big falsies that I love hitting anytime in a match because it's quick, it's easy, it's fun, and like it gets the crowd involved every time.
Yeah. For me, it's just like a perfect example. I hit the sky high, and I think you know this. The sky high and the exploder. I was so self conscious about the exploder because it was like no one could ever take it right. No one could ever go over. Everybody always. I don't want to use the term, but you know. And just it used to discourage me. 'Cause I'm like, I know I can do this move. I know I can perfect it. Right, and that's a big thing with me. It's always perfecting my moves, making sure that I hit them clean, crisp, when to the point where people are like, "Ooh, if you hit that move," like they coming up to me after the match, "Oh, when you hit that move, all I could do was stand up. All I could do was cheer for you."
Yeah. I think one of those things is it's funny because like don't worry, I'll say it for you. Some people just like to sandbag like because they're afraid. And it's like dude, like that's the thing about like wrestling is that you have to have complete faith in the
Yes.
person that you're working with because if you're not, bad things will happen, right? Like if
Hmm.
and
Yes.
it's one of those things where it's like and it was something with Noah, right? Like, I had worked a match with SWA, right, where I was on the good side and Pure Ignorance was on the heel side, and I hit the spine buster on Trip, I hit the spine buster on Chaz, and then Noah came in, and as I go to hit the spine buster on Noah, Noah like put his hand out like to brace, and
Yep.
like I knew he did, and so I like curled him in real tight, and then we went down together, and like I brought him down a lot softer. And I remember like talking to him in the back, and I was like, "Yo, don't do that again. Just put your
Yeah.
hands on my back and just ride it. The ground is coming regardless.
Hmm.
So if you think your hand's gonna stop you from hitting the ground, it is not.
No, it's gonna make
It's
it
a
way
bad
worse.
move.
Yeah, it's gonna make it way worse.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, don't do that. And I tell people that all the time. And the one thing I started doing, this was something. So a lot of people spine busters are usually they're like when they tell you, they talk about like, do you throw it like Farouk or do you throw it like Arn Anderson?
Yeah.
And I tell them I throw it like a mix of both, but I never hold on to the right. leg, right? And there's a reason for it. Because as I pick you up and I hold you in the air, I have my hand on your back and I take my right leg and I sweep out your leg as I slam you down. Well, your left leg, I guess, because when you're hugging somebody,
Yeah.
hold your right leg up. And then I'll sweep your left leg out and we'll go down together. That's not for me. That's for you,
Yeah.
so that you don't
Exactly.
put your leg down and then you snap your knee or you snap your leg because you were like, oh, I'm gonna stop this force with my leg. Like, no, dude, I sweep your whole leg out and you don't have a chance. You have to
You
go.
don't have a choice.
You have
You're
to
not
fall
gonna
on
have
your
a choice.
back.
And
And
a lot of the times, that's what I've learned that I had to do is when I'm doing certain moves, not to give the person a choice. You got like I'm gonna make you follow through because you have to follow through. It, if you don't feel comfortable with something, say that in the back. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Because once we're out there, we're working, bro. And if you want to call something on the fly, you want to, that's fine. But when we get to a certain point, it's like you can't really go back, bro. You can't be like, oh no, I'm scared, and then look at you now. I done dropped you on your head,
yeah.
or now you done, no,
Or
because
you just the moment comes and you just like freeze and you try to stop and then the other person just throws you and then
yep.
you pretty much pile drive yourself like into the mat. Oh, but it's funny because like you hit a lot of moves safely. And it's just weird that a lot of people are like, nah, nah, nah. I don't want to take that. I'm not gonna take that. I can't do that. And then, people get freaked out and then they get,
What happened?
oh, you got switched. That's what happened. So the screen went black and it switched you out.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
So log out and log back in.
Technical difficulties.
And bet. So 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's weird, man, because like I've been watching you for years and you hit moves clean. It seems like just people are like afraid to take moves because they don't trust themselves
Hmm.
versus not trusting you.
They don't trust themselves. It's like you have to trust your own body. You gotta trust your body to do what it's gonna do. I think you said it best to me when I was trying to learn to do a moonsault. You just gotta go for it.
And then it's like when you're I feel like once you start going for it, you start learning, you start to build your own confidence up, and then like you
Hmm.
can amplify that like with everything else that you're doing, right? I think one thing that a lot of people forget to outside of just like building confidence to yourself is like when you're working with other people, you got to build chemistry, right? Like
Yeah,
you gotta have conversations with people, you gotta talk to people, you gotta you know talk to them, but like sit back and pick their brain a little bit about what they do in the business and how they figured it out. Because if you don't do those things, like you can go out there and you're probably gonna have like a stale ass match, and it's
yeah,
like who
yeah,
wants to do that?
exactly. And that's the biggest thing: building trust, building confidence with somebody. Um, like for example, me and Chaz, we hadn't always perfected or upgraded our moves. I remember when I was first doing the little Miz line into the corner with him, I was following him into the corner. I think one day I was just, I don't know. I think I was just, was I mad at him? I might have been mad at him and just tossed him. I might have just been mad at him and tossed him. But it ended up working.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we should do it like that from now on. So who knows?
It is funny that you like, yeah, I think you were upset with him. I forget what happened, but yeah, you just darted him into the corner. And I remember getting the phone call like afterwards, and he was just like, "Bruh, Prince just like lawn darted me into the corner."
I was either
That's
mad at him or I was mad at our opponents. But either way, I just kind of just launched them, just tossed them, and it ended up being that move needed.
But yeah, and like you said, it was like a happy accident that worked out because like at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right? Uh, you and I and Chaz and Noah, we've all developed like this team chemistry that we can kind of like go in, call something, hit it, and then just walk away from it. Like
Yep.
everybody will be like, "Yo, you guys been teaming for a while?" I'm like, no, not really. Like it's a few times, but yeah, I think like because we worked at trios match, also in EWA in Havre de Grace,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and poor Noah was a ref. He didn't have a choice,
Oh
but
yeah, we messed with him the entire time.
the entire time we just messed with him. But I think it was fun though because that was like really like the first time that us three got to work as a trio, and
Hmm.
then we learned some lessons from that match too, right? Because like we got kind of stuck doing like the unicorn stomp that like the New
Yes.
Day hits, but then we like learned like oh we can actually mess with
Do
some things and
moves.
have
Yeah.
and hit some big things that are gonna be fun to do.
Yeah. Definitely. Because yeah, that match we were. I wouldn't say we were afraid, but we were like, what can we all do that would make sense? And Chance was like, well, let's just do the unicorn stampede. And I was like, okay, but I feel like we could do other things. And I think Andino was the one that pulled us to the side. He was like, nah, y'all are too talented to be taking stuff that you see on TV. He was
Yeah,
like, if you're gonna do that, make it into your own.
yeah. And see, like now, like we can actually kick back and look and be like, all right, what would we hit? Because like I think
Yep.
one thing that I want to try, right, is so I love hitting that shoulder block sequence, right, from where it's like shoulder block to forearm, and then I would sweep out a person's leg and then hit them with a euro, right. Instead,
Hmm.
now what it could be is I could come in, hit the shoulder block, move, you would hit with the forearm, and then I could roll back, grab Chast, and then throw him lawn darting
Oh, no,
into
yeah.
or vice versa, right? Like you come in, or you go in with the shoulder block, I hit him with the forearm, I move out to, or I hold him into place, and then you just lawn dart Chaz into our opponent, like right in the corner. I think that's just now we're all like playing with the everybody's move sets at the same time, and
Yes.
then Chaz gets out of the way, the person falls to the ground, boom, I come in with a euro.
Yes.
Or you come in with a cannonball, like even better. Everybody gets
Yeah.
to hit
It's all
something.
about knowing your move sets, man. Honestly, because the more you know, the more you can do. Because now, you know what? You just reminded me that I did the cannonball, and I haven't done that in over a year.
Yeah, I think I was like, there we go. Like, there's a whole sequence that we just came up with on the fly. I just think there's so much fun stuff that we would actually love to hit and work as a team
Yes.
to do. And now, we're starting this little faction is starting to like take off and take flight. So
Yeah.
let me ask one question before we wrap all this up, right? What's one of the biggest lessons that you've taken away so far from the last time that we did this show?
One of the biggest lessons. Well, when I got injured, that was like a really down time for me because I had gotten so far and it was a lot of big matches coming up. And I just felt bad because I was like, hey, I had messed up my shoulder, couldn't even lift it. And I had to learn this was the big lesson I had to learn, which was patience and trust. Because I had to trust that my partners could hold up their end. And they did. They definitely did. But I had to trust that they could hold up their end as to keep me relevant and to keep me around, like keep me, what's the word I'm looking for? Keep me a part of the program.
Yeah.
Didn't leave me out. They still kept me with all the ideas, kept, brought all the ideas to me, included me, inclusion, all of that. So that was one of the big lessons, trust and patience.
Yeah, I like that. Those are two big things. Because like if anything, the theme of this show, right, has really been about trusting yourself, trusting your opponents, trusting your partners, and then I like the idea of like knowing that you have to be patient, right? Like
Hmm.
all good things are gonna come in time. Like you have to still work for them. Like don't get that wrong, but
Oh
you have
yeah.
to like yeah, they'll come. Just keep grinding away, and they'll come too, right? It's been wild to be on this journey with y'all for the last couple years, and then just
Yeah.
like watch everything kind of explode because there's still some teams out there that we're looking for, okay,
that
and
we
that we're
still want to
looking.
face.
Yeah.
That are ducking and dodging. I mean, they can duck and dodge all they want, but it's only a matter of time.
Like, I'm trying to get out to the West Coast, Lights Camera Faction. I know
Hmm.
you pay attention to the show, so yeah, we're definitely looking like to get out to the West Coast and mix it up with a couple bigger groups out that way.
For sure, for sure.
But hey, man, so we're gonna wrap this up with my other favorite game that I love to play on the show, right? Which is called Pin Submit DQ, or as most people will know this, you know, fuck Mary Kill. But we're just gonna do it with the wrestling side of things. So I'm gonna throw out uh 3 subjects, right? And you got pin
Okay,
one, submit one, and DQ one. Okay. So
gotcha.
let's go with so we're gonna go start with a New Day, right? Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston.
Pin.
Who you gonna pin and who you gonna submit and who you gonna DQ?
Oh, okay. All right. I
Yeah.
would pin Big E,
Mm.
submit Kofi, DQ Xavier.
See, I figured you would say you can see. I just it's big meaty man slapping meat. That's what you want.
Big
You're just
Menu
like
Man. Yes, Big Menu Man slapping me. Sorry.
all right, so let's move Vegeta, Goku, and Gohan.
Pin Vegeta, submit Gohan, DQ Goku.
Goku. Just smashing that dude with a chair. I don't care. Instantly I'm hitting Goku with a chair.
Yeah. Goku don't know how to stop.
No.
So if I DQ, yeah. I could break I think I could break Vegeta's spirit. I don't think I could
It's like, how has he pinned the Prince of all
yeah.
Saiyans? Like,
See,
nah,
that would just
Prince
knock him down.
Machiavelli over Prince Vegeta. That's what happens. Last one, right? So we're gonna go with Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America.
Mm, I'm DQing Cap. I don't like Cap. Y'all already know my thing with Cap. Submitting Spider Man because that would be really hard to do, but I will try. And pin Iron Man.
Bet. I like it. Well, the last thing is, I just need you to let all of our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at X_Prince Machiavelli _X on IG, and then on Twitter, P Machiavelli. Those are really the only 2 social medias that I actually use. On Facebook, all you're going to see is just me sharing stupid videos because that's all I do all day.
You can also find him on TikTok at Pusha P.
Yes, push the
He's
Prince on TikTok.
Pusha Prince. And he rarely ever puts anything on his
Ever.
TikTok.
Yeah. I
In
used
fact,
to all the time. Now I just like, I don't know.
I just started.
They got
doing it
this
all over
auto
again.
feature and I hate it now.
Yeah, I started doing it now, like redoing it because like I've had more clips to show from like the show and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I started posting more stuff back up there. But yeah, for a long time, like I even slowed down. All I was posting up there was Red Dog's thought of the day, and like that
Yeah.
was it.
It was like, I don't know. They started doing this auto where they would edit the video, auto editing videos. And I hate it. I hate it. I like putting my own stuff and doing my own edits on it. And I felt like I was getting more views doing that than y'all just doing it for me and just be like, here, there you go, take this.
Yeah, do
Be
this
happy
video.
with that. Be happy with that.
Yeah, enjoy. We'll put
How
the
dare
music
you want
on,
to
don't
edit?
worry.
Yeah. How dare you want to edit? Just pick this zoom in and this music and be happy with it.
Just hit send. Just hit send. Then try to thank us later for the 3 views that you
Yeah,
got.
the 3 views. This is not even the sound of the day, but this is what you're gonna get.
That's what you're gonna get. You don't even get. You wanted catch a fade? No, you get catch a beat. That's what you
Yeah,
get.
that's all you're getting.
All right. Well, like every great part of a wrestling match, we gotta take this home because this is now entering 201, and I'm your host Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. But like every good Sherpa, which I like to think I am, it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring? You see the guy right there, the pusher himself, Prince Machiavelli. And you guys know what to do. Tune into
Yes.
the next episode and be there, or you're legitimately follow us on all of our social media platforms. You're subscribed to our YouTube channel. You're following us on Spotify. You're even listening to us onto Amazon Music because we're there too. Or you're checking us out on iHeartRadio or whatever their stupid jingle thing is. You're even telling your friends about us. You're telling your families about us. You're telling your pets about us. You're telling your enemies about us because we love haters too. So doing all that stuff, you're buying our merch, or you're really just, waiting for this episode to end, waiting for the outro, and then you're choosing another episode to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Kawaii. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3Count Pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.